The last line of defense. Admiral Elena Reyes stood at the observation deck of the Terran Defense Station Olympus, watching the sleek ships of the Galactic Alliance's diplomatic fleet approach. After centuries of wondering if we were alone in the universe, humanity's first contact had come not with a bang, but with a carefully worded invitation to join the galactic community. What no one had expected was the reason behind their sudden interest in Earth. "They're hailing us again, Admiral," Lieutenant Santos reported from his station. "The Arcturian ambassador seems anxious." Elena allowed herself a small smile. The aliens had been anxious ever since their long-range sensors had detected the approaching threat. That's why they were here after all. Not out of diplomatic courtesy, but desperate need. "Put them through," she commanded, straightening her uniform. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing Ambassador Zixtel's crystalline form. Like all Arcturians, the ambassador's body was composed of living crystal, refracting light in patterns that served as their primary form of expression. Right now, those patterns spelled out clear distress. "Admiral Reyes," the ambassador's translated voice rang through the chamber. "Our sensors indicate the void swarm has accelerated their approach. We have less time than initially calculated." Elena nodded, pulling up the tactical display. The massive cloud of interdimensional parasites was indeed moving faster than predicted, consuming everything in its path. The Galactic Alliance had encountered them 3 standard cycles ago, and nothing in their considerable arsenal had proven effective against these beings that existed partially outside normal spacetime. Nothing, that is, until they discovered Earth. "Ambassador, I understand your concern, but my people are ready." Elena gestured to the screens showing military installations across Earth's surface. "We've been fighting and surviving on this death world of ours since before we could walk upright. Your people may see Earth as a horrifyingly hostile environment, but to us, it's home." The ambassador's crystalline form shimmered with what Elena had learned to recognize as disbelief. "Your species evolved on a planet with extreme gravitational forces, constant cosmic radiation, regular geological upheavals, and thousands of venomous creatures. By all statistical models, you should have gone extinct millennia ago. Instead, we thrived," Elena countered. "Every challenge made us stronger, more adaptable. Your people were shocked to discover we could survive radiation levels that would kill most species, or that our bodies could repair damage that would be fatal to others. You called Earth a death world. We call it a training ground." The tactical display blinked with new data. The void swarm had devoured another uninhabited system, converting all matter into more of their kind. The Alliance's most powerful weapons had proven useless against beings that could shift partially out of normal spacetime at will. But humans, with their radiation-resistant cells, enhanced repair capabilities, and unprecedented neural plasticity, had demonstrated a unique ability to perceive and interact with these quasi-dimensional entities. "The defense fleet is in position," Lieutenant Santos reported. "All Thanatos-class vessels report their human crews are synchronized with the dimensional perception arrays." Elena turned back to the ambassador's image. "Your people provided us with the technology, Ambassador. We'll provide the operators who can actually use it effectively. Humanity didn't just survive Earth's harshness, we were forged by it. And now, we're exactly what the galaxy needs." The tactical display erupted with new warnings. The void swarm had arrived at the outer edges of the solar system, their writhing forms distorting the very fabric of spacetime. But unlike the panicked retreats they had triggered across the galaxy, humanity stood ready. Every challenge in their evolutionary history had prepared them for this moment. "All ships, battle stations," Elena commanded, her voice steady. "Initiate dimensional perception protocols. Today we show the galaxy why Deathworlders are exactly what you need when death itself comes knocking." As the first wave of void entities approached, humanity prepared to demonstrate why evolution on Earth's harsh surface had created the ultimate defenders of life itself. The galaxy was about to learn why you should never underestimate species that considered a death world their cradle. Warriors from the Crucible. The void entities rippled through space like oil on water, their non-Euclidean forms defying conventional physics. Inside the bridge of the TSS Hyperion, Captain Maya Rodriguez watched through the dimensional perception array as her crew prepared for humanity's first major engagement with the swarm. Dimensional phase shift detected, reported Dr. Kai Chen, the ship's chief scientist. His eyes were closed, neural interfaces streaming data directly into his consciousness through the biotech implants that the Alliance had only recently learned humans could successfully integrate. They're trying to slip between dimensions again. Maya nodded, feeling the familiar surge of adrenaline that had helped her ancestors survive countless threats on Earth. Not this time. Execute Operation Groundwork. Across the human fleet, specially trained crews activated their dimensional tethers. Technology provided by the Alliance, but previously unusable due to the massive neural load it placed on operators. Humans, with their uniquely adaptable nervous systems, could handle the strain. The void entities screeched across frequencies that shouldn't exist as the tethers caught hold, forcing them to remain in normal space. Maya watched through the array as the writhing forms became fully visible, their true nature revealed. They weren't just interdimensional parasites. They were hungry. Multiple entities locked in normal space, Kai announced. Targeting solutions available. All ships, weapons free, Maya commanded. Show them what Deathworlders can do. The human fleet opened fire with Alliance-provided quantum disruptors, modified by human engineers who understood combat in ways their peaceful alien allies never had to learn. The void entities, trapped in normal space, discovered too late why humanity's predatory instincts made them such dangerous opponents. But the swarm wasn't defeated easily. One of the larger entities managed to partially phase shift, its tentacles passing through the Hyperion's hull as if it weren't there. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut as warning klaxons blared. Reach in sectors 7 through 9, reported Lieutenant Sarah O'Neil, her voice steady despite the chaos. Crew reporting visual distortions and temporal anomalies. Maya activated the ship-wide comm. All hands, implement Protocol Prometheus. Throughout the affected sectors, human crew members activated their neural interfaces, synchronizing their naturally enhanced perception with the ship's sensors. Where other species saw only confusion and chaos, humans evolved to detect predators and process threat responses at lightning speed, could track and engage the partially phased entity. Security teams moving to intercept, Sarah reported. First contact in 3, 2, 1. Through the ship's internal sensors, Maya watched as her security teams engaged the intruder. Their modified pulse rifles, designed to interface with human biorhythms, fired bursts of energy that could affect targets across multiple dimensional phases. The entity recoiled, experiencing for the first time what it meant to be prey rather than predator. Admiral Rise was right, Kai mused, monitoring the battle through his neural interface. Our Deathworld upbringing gave us exactly what we needed. The ability to perceive threats across multiple spectrums, process complex tactical situations instinctively, and adapt to seemingly impossible scenarios. Maya remembered her childhood on Earth, growing up in regions still wild enough to maintain humanity's edge. Where Alliance species saw only hostile dangers in Earth's environment, humans had learned to thrive, developing capabilities that now proved crucial for the galaxy's survival. Multiple contacts. Sarah's voice cut through Maya's thoughts. The swarm is adapting, attempting to coordinate their dimensional shifts. They learn fast, Maya observed, a predatory smile crossing her face. But so do we. All ships, implement tactical pattern Delta 7. Show them why evolution on Earth taught us to never fight the same way twice. The human fleet broke formation, each ship moving in seemingly random patterns that nonetheless followed deeper instinctive strategies, the kind of unpredictable yet effective maneuvers that had helped their ancestors survive Earth's most dangerous predators. The void entities, used to prey that followed logical patterns, found themselves unable to predict or counter the human assault. Ships darted through their formation like wolves among sheep, their crews operating on instincts honed by millennia of survival on a planet that never stopped trying to kill them. "Signal from Admiral Reyes," Sarah announced. "The swarm is retreating from the solar system. First engagement successful." A cheer went up from the bridge crew, but Maya kept her eyes on the tactical display. "They'll be back," she said. "And they'll be smarter next time. But that's nothing new for us. Earth taught us that survival means constant adaptation." As the fleet regrouped, Alliance observers watched in amazement as human crews coordinated with an efficiency their simulations had deemed impossible. They were beginning to understand that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their physical adaptations to Earth's harshness, but the cognitive and tactical advantages that came from evolving on a world that never gave them a moment's peace. The void entities had ruled uncontested across multiple dimensions, but they had never encountered a species forged in the crucible of a death world. They were about to learn why that was a crucial oversight. The adaptive edge. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, Dr. Kai Chen stood before a discovery that challenged everything the Alliance thought they knew about Earth. The structure before him pulsed with an energy signature that matched the void entities, yet it was clearly a weapon of immense power. "This is impossible." Ambassador Zixtel's holographic form flickered with patterns of disbelief. "These defense systems predate our earliest records. They shouldn't be on a world we classified as pre-spaceflight until mere decades ago." Kai ran his hand along the crystalline surface of the ancient console, watching as it responded to his touch in ways it had remained stubbornly inert for the Alliance's best scientists. "Maybe that's exactly why they're here. Earth isn't just a death world. It's a forge." Admiral Reyes stepped forward, her expression thoughtful. "The radiation, the gravity, the constant disasters, they weren't obstacles to our development. They were tools, weren't they? Tools to create a species that could fight the void swarm." The facility hummed to life around them, responding to the presence of human neural patterns. Holographic displays activated, showing star maps and tactical data in formats that felt strangely intuitive to human minds despite their alien origin. "The void entities aren't new to our galaxy," Kai explained, interpreting data that scrolled past. "They've tried to invade before, thousands of times across millions of years. Each time, they were driven back by species evolved on worlds like Earth, death worlds that produced life capable of perceiving and fighting across dimensional boundaries. But those species died out." Ambassador Zixtel's translation carried notes of sorrow. "The stress of existing in such harsh environments eventually proved too much. None lasted more than a few thousand years after achieving spaceflight. A new hologram appeared, showing human DNA alongside complex energy patterns that matched those of the void entities. "We're different," Kai said, excitement building in his voice. "Our ancestors didn't just survive Earth's harshness. They adapted to it in ways no other species has. Our genetic structure shows signs of deliberate enhancement, using Earth's natural conditions as a catalyst." "Someone engineered us?" Elena asked, her military mind already calculating the implications. "Not exactly," Kai corrected. "They created the conditions that would lead to our evolution, using Earth's harsh environment to guide our development. Every natural disaster, every radiation burst, every predator. They all pushed us toward becoming what we are now." The facility's systems continued to activate, responding to human presence in ways that suggested deep compatibility. Weapons platforms that had lain dormant for millennia hummed to life, their controls perfectly adapted to human neural patterns and reaction times. "That's why the void entities retreated after our first engagement," Elena realized. "They recognize what we are. They've seen our kind before." Across the globe, similar facilities were awakening, each one responding only to human operators. The Alliance's greatest scientists had spent years trying to activate these systems, never realizing they were designed specifically for human neural patterns and physical capabilities. "Your people have achieved in decades what took other death world species centuries," the ambassador observed, their crystalline form refracting light in patterns of amazement. Your adaptability exceeds anything we've seen before. Kai accessed more of the facility's databases, each revelation adding to their understanding. Earth wasn't just a random death world. It was designed as the ultimate adaptive environment. Every challenge we faced was carefully calculated to produce specific traits: enhanced perception, rapid learning, extreme stress adaptation, and most importantly, the ability to think in ways that transcend normal dimensional boundaries. The facility's central chamber opened, revealing an arsenal of weapons and technology that responded eagerly to human neural signatures. "We're not just fighters," Kai continued, watching as human operators instinctively grasped the use of technology that had baffled Alliance experts for generations. "We're the culmination of a plan millions of years in the making. Earth wasn't our prison. It was our training ground." Admiral Rice watched as her crews interfaced with the ancient systems, their natural abilities amplified by technology designed specifically for human use. "The void entities thought they found in primitive species on a harsh world," she said, a hint of pride in her voice. "Instead, they found the latest generation of their ancient enemies, forged in the crucible of the perfect death world." As more facilities activated across Earth's oceans and hidden bunkers, humanity began to understand their true role in the galaxy. They weren't just survivors of a harsh world. They were its intended product, created to be the perfect warriors against a threat that existed beyond normal space and time. Breaking point. Captain Maya Rodriguez watched as the void entities torn through space toward Earth, their numbers exponentially greater than their first assault. The swarm had returned with what appeared to be their entire collective, a writhing mass of interdimensional horrors that blotted out the stars themselves. "They're afraid," she said, causing Ambassador Zixtel's holographic form to flicker in surprise. "That's why they committed everything to this attack. They recognize what we are, and they're terrified." Through the dimensional perception array, Maya could see what the Alliance's sensors couldn't: patterns within patterns, a desperate strategy born of ancient fear. The void entities weren't just attacking. They were trying to eliminate a threat they'd faced before. "All stations report ready," Lieutenant O'Neill announced from her position. "The ancient defense platforms are fully integrated with our fleet systems. Dr. Chen reports the dimensional resonance fields are stable." Maya nodded, feeling the familiar surge of enhanced awareness through her neural interface. Across the fleet, human crews synchronized with their ships and each other in ways that defied Alliance military doctrine, but felt as natural as breathing to those evolved on Earth. "They're attempting to phase shift the entire fleet." Kai's voice came through the comm. "Energy signatures suggest they're trying to pull our ships into their dimensional space." "Let them try," Maya responded, a predatory smile crossing her face. "All ships, execute Operation Thunderbolt." The human fleet appeared to scatter in disarray, a tactical mistake by any conventional standard. But as the void entities moved to exploit the apparent weakness, they discovered too late that humans had learned to think beyond conventional warfare. The ancient weapons platforms activated simultaneously, creating a complex web of dimensional anchors. The void entities found themselves trapped between phases, their greatest advantage turned against them. But it wasn't the technology alone that made the strategy effective. It was the human ability to operate instinctively across dimensional boundaries. "Multiple direct hits confirmed," Sarah reported, her voice tight with concentration. "Their dimensional shifting is becoming erratic. They're trying to adapt, but they can't predict what they don't understand," Maya finished. "And they've never understood how humans think." Through her neural interface, Maya watched as human crews executed combat maneuvers that looked chaotic but followed deeper patterns, the same kind of adaptive, non-linear thinking that had helped their ancestors survive Earth's deadliest challenges. The void entities, used to opponents who fought according to logical patterns, found themselves unable to counter strategies that seemed to defy reason yet achieved devastating results. "Admiral Rice is reporting success in Sectors 7 through 12, Kai announced. "The ancient weapons are more effective than we anticipated." Something about human neural patterns amplifies there. His voice cut off as a massive void entity phased partially through the Hyperion's hull, its form distorting reality itself. But where other species would have retreated from the impossible geometry of its existence, the human crew reacted with the swift, decisive action of predators. "All hands, implement Protocol Omega," Maya commanded, feeling the ship's systems respond to her enhanced neural patterns. "Show them why Earth's predators are feared across dimensions." The battle that followed defied conventional description. Human crews, their natural abilities amplified by ancient technology and generations of evolution on Earth's harsh surface, engaged the void entities on their own dimensional terms. Ships moved in patterns that seemed random but followed deeper instincts, each action guided by the same adaptive intelligence that had helped humanity survive countless threats. Energy spike. Sarah's warning came just as the largest void entity they'd ever encountered emerged from the chaotic battle. "It's trying to create some kind of dimensional cascade." Maya watched through the perception array as the entity began to tear open the fabric of space-time itself, attempting to create a rift that would swallow Earth whole. But in that moment of desperation, she saw something that generations of Earth's harsh lessons had taught humans to recognize: a fundamental weakness in what appeared to be overwhelming strength. "All ships, converge on my position," she commanded, her mind already racing ahead to possibilities that existed just at the edge of normal spacetime. "Dr. Chen, remember those patterns we discovered in the ancient facility? The ones that matched human brainwave patterns during extreme stress." "The dimensional resonance frequencies," Kai confirmed, excitement building in his voice as he followed her reasoning. "You think? I think we're about to show them why evolution on Earth taught us to turn enemy strengths into weaknesses," Maya said. "All ships, prepare to execute pattern Sigma on my mark. Let's show them what happens when you back Deathworlders into a corner." As the void entities gathered their strength for what they believed would be a final, decisive strike, humanity prepared to demonstrate why Earth's harsh crucible had created the perfect warriors for this exact moment. The galaxy was about to witness the full potential of a species forged in the fires of a death world, ready to protect not just their home, but all of existence itself. Evolution's champions. The void between dimensions rippled with energy as Captain Maya Rodriguez initiated humanity's final gambit. Through the dimensional perception array, she could see the massive void entity preparing to tear reality apart, its form stretching across multiple planes of existence. "All ships in position," Sarah reported, her voice steady despite the reality-bending forces surrounding them. "Dimensional resonance fields at maximum capacity." "Dr. Chen, are you seeing this?" Maya asked, watching as strange patterns began forming in the space between spaces. "The way they're moving, it's like a predator that's never had to worry about being hunted," Kai finished her thought. "Until now." The ancient defense platforms hummed with power, their systems synchronized with human neural patterns in ways their original designers could only have dreamed of. Across the fleet, crews who had evolved on Earth's harsh surface prepared to turn the void entity's greatest strength into their ultimate weakness. "Execute pattern Sigma," Maya commanded. "Show them why Earth's lessons about predator and prey go both ways." The human fleet moved in perfect synchronization, their seemingly chaotic maneuvers following patterns that existed just beyond normal spacetime. The void entities, for the first time in their ancient existence, found themselves outmaneuvered across multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Energy spike detected," Sarah announced. "The primary entity is attempting to stabilize its dimensional rifts." Through her neural interface, Maya felt rather than saw the moment when everything changed. The void entities had evolved to exist between dimensions, but they had never encountered a species that could truly perceive and operate in their domain. Humanity, forged in Earth's crucible of evolution, had developed abilities that transcended normal dimensional boundaries. "All ships, initiate dimensional resonance pulse," Maya ordered. "Let's show them why you don't corner something that evolved on a death world." The ancient weapons platforms activated in perfect harmony with the human fleet, creating a cascading wave of energy that matched the exact frequency of human neural patterns under extreme stress. The void entities, caught in the resonance field, found their ability to shift between dimensions disrupted by patterns they couldn't comprehend. It's working. Kai's excitement was palpable through the calm. Their dimensional structure is destabilizing. The resonance is forcing them to exist in a single phase of reality. The massive void entity writhed in what could only be described as panic, its form collapsing into normal space as the resonance field stripped away its ability to exist between dimensions. Across the battlefield, other void entities began experiencing the same effect, their ancient advantage turned against them by a species that had evolved to adapt to any threat. Admiral Rise is reporting similar results across all sectors, Sarah announced. The swarm is losing cohesion. They're trying to retreat, but the resonance field is preventing dimensional shifts. Maya watched through the perception array as humanity's greatest threats found themselves trapped by the very laws of physics they had evolved to ignore. The ancient weapons, designed to be wielded by species forged on Deathworlds, reached their full potential in human hands. All ships, execute final attack pattern, she commanded. End this. The combined firepower of the human fleet and ancient defense platforms struck the trapped void entities with devastating precision. Unable to phase shift or retreat to their dimensional refuges, the swarm discovered too late why evolution on Earth had created the perfect warriors to counter their existence. As the last void entities dissolved into quantum static, Ambassador Zixtal's holographic form shimmered with patterns of awe. In all our recorded history, no species has ever achieved what humanity accomplished today. You didn't just defeat the void swarm, you changed the fundamental rules of dimensional warfare. We did what we had to do, Maya responded, watching as her crews began recovery operations. It's what Earth taught us, adapt or die. The void entities never learned that lesson because they never had to. Until they met us. Admiral Rice's voice came through the fleet-wide comm. The Alliance Council is convening an emergency session. They're requesting humanity's presence, not as members, but as teachers. They want to understand how we achieved what their greatest scientists thought impossible. Maya smiled, remembering all the times Earth's harsh environment had forced humanity to think beyond conventional limitations. We'll teach them, she said. But more importantly, we'll help them understand why the galaxy needs species like us, creatures forged in the fire of Deathworlds, ready to face threats that exist beyond normal space and time. Across the solar system, the ancient defense platforms continued their silent vigil, their systems now fully integrated with human technology and neural patterns. Earth's role as a forge for warriors hadn't ended. It had evolved, creating not just defenders against dimensional threats, but teachers who could help the galaxy prepare for whatever challenges lay ahead. The void entities won't be the last threat we face, Kai observed, studying the data streams from their victory. But thanks to Earth's harsh lessons, we'll be ready. And this time, we won't face them alone. As the human fleet regrouped around their home planet, the galaxy began to understand a fundamental truth. Earth wasn't a death world by accident. It was a crucible, designed to create warriors capable of defending existence itself. Humanity had emerged from its harsh embrace not just as survivors, but as champions of evolution, ready to protect all life across all dimensions.